hearts alive, firestorms when they strike. You feel the love, sparks will fly.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon, Lifestyles Defined. The time has come. Full Microsoft whoring season is here. Yes, finally, yes. Let's talk about the Lumia 950 family, as Panis Panay put it. The guy has an interesting name. Shout out to that man, actually. I thought he did a very good job at the presentation. And I'm going to do a video wrapping up the entire presentation and my thoughts on everything they had to offer and how it was presented. But yeah, shout out to that man for a good job there. I really like what I saw. So yeah, the Lumia 950 and the 950 XL, I've got mixed feelings. Really not mixed feelings. I mean, it is what it is at this point. But before we get into the theoretical madness, let's talk about the hardware. If you look at the display size, the 950 comes home with a 5.2-inch display, whereas the XL comes home with a 5.7-inch display. And I think that's okay. Sure, in the Windows family, we're used to something like the 6-inch monster from the Lumia 1520. You gotta give it up. You know, that was like the 1020 with the 41 megapixel camera. It was just, they were going wild, and now we're back down to earth, and this is what we got. And of course, on the 950, that 5.2-inch display is for regular people. Someone like my mom might be happy with that. The 950 sporting Gorilla Glass 3, and there's Gorilla Glass 4 on the 950 XL. In terms of the processor and the RAM, they're both sporting 3 gigs of RAM, but on the 950 you get a hexa-core processor, which is 6 cores, and on the XL you get an octa-core processor, which is that Snapdragon 810. The regular 950 is running the 808 for those of you who really care about that type of thing. And really the other factor that differentiates these two phones is the battery size. So the regular 950 comes home with a 3000 milliamp battery, which is a big battery, and it's also removable. And then the XL has a 3340 milliamp battery, which is an even bigger battery, more along the lines of what's in the 1520, which I praised them for. And that too is removable. And of course, usually where you see a removable battery, you also find expandable storage, and yes, it is there. Both phones come with a 32 gigabytes of storage, but they are expandable up to 256. And as pointed out in the conference, theoretically, when that time comes, and that time won't be here for a long time, so you'll probably have a new phone before that, but it can support up to 2 terabytes. Just saying. So what do we have here that really makes these phones special? Well, first off is Windows Hello. Both phones have a pretty intensive iris scanning going on there, and you know, iris scanning works with infrared technology, and from the display, from what I've seen watching a lot of the videos of people that were there, this thing is slow. And I don't mean like slow where it's like, oh my god. I mean in today's world where we are accustomed to just putting your finger on a button and unlocking the phone within like a half a second, and then Apple turns around and makes it a millisecond, the just under second it takes for that iris scanner to read who you are seems way too long. And you know, if this was last year where a lot of flagship phones weren't coming standard with fingerprint readers, I would say, okay, this is cool, right? Everyone's looking to find this differentiating factor in security and how you unlock your phone. Everyone's playing around. This one's doing that, that one's doing this. I think fingerprint scanning is, it's the norm at this point. You know what I mean? For crying out loud, they even put it on the keyboard for the Surface. So why is it not on the phone? why is it not on the phone? It's got, both phones got USB-C or USB Type-C, and that's all the new rage. And of course, a faster throughput of information, fast charging. So I think Pana said within 30 minutes, your phone is off. You can achieve up to 50% of your battery, which is quite impressive. And something to really note about that is I do in fact enjoy fast charging on my Galaxy S6 Edge. That name still kills me. But I don't enjoy it because I need it. You see, if the battery would actually last an entire day, that would be the most ideal situation where I don't need to constantly sit by a charger. Here, not only is Windows Phone OS not known to be power hungry, it's a 33,000 milliamp battery, a 3300 milliamp battery. And then on top of that, it's removable. So the fast charging bit gets moved to the very end of the spectrum. And I like that about it. And of course, they both support wireless charging as well. But one of the killer features that I really do enjoy about Windows 10 Mobile is, without doubt, Continuum. And Continuum is this... Continuum is a good bit of dopeness in itself, and I think given the huge success story that Windows 10 is toting right now, they open up the conference. 110 million devices currently run Windows. Currently 110 million devices currently running Windows 10. And they also had some crazy stat of 5 billion times that the market store has been accessed. Because it is the core, and because there's bridges that exist like universal apps for developers to come in and really make their own apps, I think theoretically Continuum is super dope, because you have the ability to take your phone, dock it, and turn it into essentially its own PC. And yes, it is Windows 10 at the core. There is this little docking station that they have that gives you 3 USB ports. It gives you 4K display out. You can plug in a mouse, keyboard, removable media, and all that's dope. But what they didn't tell you is how reliant they still are on the development scene, right? So people are gonna get a hold of this and they're gonna go, wow, it's my phone becomes a PC. Yeah, it becomes a PC for Outlook. It becomes a PC for Word, for Edge. What about Photoshop? You see, you can't install a full 32 or 64-bit version of that on your phone. There needs to be a universal app running already. And again, here you are at the mercy of these developers. So when you sell this feature that Continuum crosses over from mobile to full desktop, you need to be really careful on how you sell that, because that could be setting people up for disappointment. And that's one of the things that I didn't like. And you know, these devices are dope. I think for the Windows loyalist, this is what you've been waiting for. They didn't go much into the camera. I wish they would have gone more into the cameras. I don't doubt that the Lumia cameras will be head and heels better than anything else on the market. I don't doubt it at all. But now we have to reserve judgment to see what type of technology is in there. But at the end of the day, this doesn't solve much of Windows Phone's problems. I mean, there's still that ever-present app gap. And I've been on record in the past saying that it's not that big of a deal to me, but as I embrace other technologies, it starts to become a big deal. I mean, simple stuff like my Philips Hue lights. There's apps out there that work. I don't even know if I can find a Hue light, a Hue controller on the marketplace. And if it is, it's a third-party app, and I gotta pray to God that it works, because it's not a super popular thing like YouTube where I can find super dope iterations of it. Things like my camera that I'm using to record. Sony's got this there's got this Play Memory app where I can just tap it NFC and pull the pictures off. That's not on the Windows Phone market. And it's not about apps anymore. It's about the technology that I'm using interfacing with my phone. And yes, that is apps. So I know the question everyone's asking is, so you stepping away from Windows Phone? Like, no, I mean, I'm definitely gonna get that 950 XL. But the issue here is when someone asks me, yo, how's that Windows Phone? Is it any good? I still have a tough time recommending it. I really do. And that sucks. And again, I want to reiterate that Microsoft 100% did what they were supposed to do today in terms of these two devices. When you put them up spec for spec next to the Galaxies, the new iPhone, the new Nexus phones, it does the job. It checks all the boxes. It's on par. The design, albeit, isn't my favorite. In fact, it comes nowhere close to something like the S6 Edge, and I was a little disappointed with the design. I wanted more. I expected more of a premium design from them, and we didn't get that. But by no means is it ugly. It's fine. It's fine. So I don't know if this is. Oh, I do know this is not enough. You get what I mean? And if you look at the flow of the announcement, it's very interesting to see. They go through the HoloLens, the band, then the phones, and right after the phones, he goes, "You guys want to talk Surface?" So you can clearly see the phones weren't the focus. It wasn't the baby. And I think Nadella, I read a dope article on The Verge and how, Nadella pretty much admitted that, they know these phones weren't going to be the big sellers, but they're okay with that as part of the game plan. And it had me thinking for a little bit. It's okay. You can still be a Microsoft whore and be okay with the fact that the Windows Phone is not for you, right? Because none of these companies have 100% effectiveness in every area. Google owns search. They're okay in I'm trolling here. They're okay in the smartphone world. They're competing with Apple. But then you look at their desktop productivity, it's terrible. You look at their enterprise, it's terrible. And that's vice versa for Apple. They don't have a search. They're killing it in the mobile space. Their desktop productivity is acceptable. It's there's all these downsides, and I feel like for the Windows whores out there that's been waiting, that refuse to buy an iPhone and just can't deal with the inconsistencies of Android, I think these phones are fine. I mean, if you haven't hit the ceiling yet where you're just frustrated with your device, your Windows Phone device, and there's something you need to do and you just can't do it, you're fine. Have at it. I think this is dope. I'm still gonna pick one up, and this leaves me with my last point, and this is what reminds me that Microsoft will forever be Microsoft. Why the fuck are these phones only available on AT&T? What? Why would you make that decision? I don't want to try to understand it. I don't care to understand it. That is an epic fail on so many boundaries. There's so many T-Mobile customers out there, and I say T-Mobile because T-Mobile's been getting really aggressive, and I've met that dude John Leger twice, and I've asked him like, yo, what's up with those Windows phones? And I must have looked like a dick in front of that guy, because whatever the hell is going on, Microsoft's not spreading the love, and it's terrible, man. Jesus Christ, AT&T, really? Anyway, fellas, hit the comments below. I know you guys got a lot to say. I know some of you may be surprised at what I said. Others, you may be like, whatever. Hit the comments. Like the video if you like it. Share it and subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.